This video is available on BitSuite and Odyssey. Join me there for exclusive content.
So, I have an old computer with a bunch of old games installed in it. You know what that means. It's time to take a trip back in time. Whoa, hey, stop the music. Hey, stop the music. I said stop the damn music. What have I been doing all this time?
This is the Dell I presented in a video some time ago, and I'll be playing some games on it. I thought I should start with a classic. By the way, yes, I'm recording my screen with my phone because you see, I don't have a fancy capture card. Anyway, the first game I'm gonna be testing is the all-time classic Need for Speed 3. As per usual, I will play single player and single race, not tournaments. Of course, we will check the graphics and we will make sure everything is on maximum. Of course, next we will be choosing our car. Man, I remember some of the weirder ones like this idle design, as we called it back then, idle desing. There were more cars you could download from the internet, but back then the internet was a luxury, not everyone could get it. Anyway, my favorite car, one of my favorite cars was the Ferrari 355. We get to choose color, but let's be honest, anything beyond red was weird. We are going to choose our track and the conditions of our track. You could mirror it, you could choose reverse. I'll just choose this very classic desert racetrack in ideal conditions. Okay, so we're getting 30 frames per second in interior camera, which is not really that bad if you ask me, though one would wonder, with a computer from 2002 with 1 GB of RAM and 2.8 GHz processor. Of course, we're dropping to 25 there with, I think we went as low as 12 there. It's strange, isn't it? I mean, it's amazing how an onboard graphics chip can hamper the experience here. We crashed this guy. It's generally very playable, and the frame drops might be a bit annoying, but they don't ruin the experience, right? And the game certainly looks better than its PlayStation 1 counterpart. In any case, I think we should toughen things up a bit, because this track with these conditions is the most ideal you can get. So, I've chosen the same track, but this time with rain. As you can see, we have quite a bit of a drop this time. 25 frames where before we had 30. I can expect it to drop when the particle effects start flying around in your face with the other cars. Sticking to the 25 frame rate point. Oh, yep. We are dropping now. Under 20 frames per second. I'd say it's still playable, but not very enjoyable. So, you know, I think I should test a final track, see how it goes there. So I've chosen Atlantica this time, again with the rain, and I would like to see the performance. 30 frames down to 25. Yeah, more or less same performance. It's strange that this onboard graphics chip would have trouble running a game this old, whereas the TNT I used to have back then would actually run this game very well. So anyway, let's move on to our next game. Populous the Beginning. Played the demo as a kid, and an error pops up. It's a shame, really, but I might be doing something for that in the future. Let's move to our next game, which is none other than Simcity 3000, a very beloved game from my childhood. At first glance, it might not be a game that you would associate with something that is very graphically intensive, but trust me, this game is a real hog when it comes to simulation and rendering buildings. I'll show you in a while what I mean. So, starting small, you can see there is no performance issues here. We are literally above 200 frames per second. Building roads, it seems to erode the frame rate a bit, but not much. It then reverts back. Anyway, I'm growing my town here, as you can see, built starting with roads. Residential tiles. I don't remember how they're called. Oh, zoning. Yes, I'm zoning. A power plant. We still get high frames. Driving power to our town. Water later on. Shops. Commercial zones. And my little town is flourishing, as you can see. And we don't really have any performance here, even if as I go closer, and as you can see, all the buildings show up normally. Even as I initiate disasters, nothing seems to be... Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a dip there, but still the game performs admirably. Sorry, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. As we crank up the disasters, it seems to have an impact on the frame rate, actually. However, this is not the real test. Oh my god, the fires really do it. But that's not the real test. I need to show you what I mean. And for this reason, we will go to a larger town. Let's load up. Come on. Come on, pal. Alright, so we are in this big ass city, and as you can see, there's nothing wrong until you go farther up. As you can see, those buildings don't render at all. If I zoom down, they appear, but once we move outside, they still appear as white bluish blocks, and then they start rendering. I wonder if I upgrade the computer with a graphics card, will this be better, or I will still have trouble with this, right? Because I don't remember things being that bad back then. Anyway, I've started some disasters to see how the game performs, and still, it performs admirably. I think it's time to move to our next game, which is none other than Star Wars Rogue Squadron. All-time classic and a very favorite game of mine. This intro, man, this intro gives me the chills. performance-wise, we're getting mid-50s, high 40s, low 60s. So anyway, let's just set up the graphics. Let's put the full resolution. No VSync because VSync cuts frames. Right, so from the hangar things look encouraging. 70 frames per second. Let's skip this part. And oh my god, 25 frames per second, 26, 25, 24, 20. Oh yeah, you get the gist of it. So let's get into the mission. Ah, nice. We get just above 20 frames per second. I don't know if you can see this, but this is not very enjoyable, I'm afraid. Shooting, it doesn't seem to be affecting the action doesn't seem to be affecting the frame rate all that much, right? Explosions and a lot. But it's constantly low. Oh no, wait, explosions do affect it. We get under 20 frames per second. So let's just lower the resolution a bit and try this one. Well, what do you know? We're getting mid to high 30s this time, but let's just get into the mission first and see. Right, 35, 32, 30 frames. Now this is more like it. Still, not what I would have expected from a computer that's like 4 years newer than this game. 3, 5? No, 5. I think it's 5. But yeah, now things is enjoyable. We're getting high 20s here, which is really funny. Let's try having a go at the final stage of this mission, the Mos Eisley battle. And as we approach the town, I see the same performance. I don't see any considerable drop, like there are more buildings, more enemies on the screen, more things going on. Yeah, we get the high 20s dip, but that was something we experienced before. So, with a simple resolution drop, this game is enjoyable, I can say. I don't know what will happen in later levels, because I think there are some that things get out of hand. But yeah, cutscene runs better than in game. And that's it for Rogue Squadron. Let's move to our next game. Next game, Urban Assault, another childhood favorite of mine. Of course, we check the graphics and we make sure everything is at full, and let's get into the game. The third mission is the live fire tutorial. It has actual enemies in it, and we will able to gauge the performance of the game. Let's just have a go at it, shall we? This is the briefing screen, which I will once again skip. And we are in the game. So this is an RTS game. With this map you just you can select your units and move them around, but see, you can actually do a lot of other stuff here you can do on a typical RTS game. Like, you can use your station, as it's called, to look around. You can actually also get into a unit of yours and drive it around personally and fight with your units. What I'm currently doing here is I'm shooting this power station so that we capture it. A power station, yeah, before I go any further, yeah, you shoot the buildings here to take them over. basically. So we took over the power station. I can now select my station and teleport it above the power station, so I can gain power. Performance now, as you can see, it's pretty good. We're getting 70s, 80s, but this is not the part that will show us how good the game is, how well the game performs. So let's cut to the battle, shall we? As you can see here, I've built quite a few units and I'm sending them to the fight. Of course, we won't play the battle like this. What we're going to do is I'm going to go within, I'm gonna take control of a unit and do the fight like this, so we can gauge the performance. So we get in the high 60s, still maintaining high 70s and 80s average. By the way, I really like the feel of the battle when you are with your units and fighting. So, the weird thing surrounded by helicopters is the enemy station, the one that rotates, and we have to destroy it to win. Normally it's at full health, but for this mission it's not. I'm explaining now the ins and outs of the game, while I should be really explaining the performance, which is pretty pointless because the game really performs very, very well. Anyway, I think I should be concluding this video at this point. It has gone for long enough. In closing, if I had to rate the performance of this machine, I would say it's rather abysmal. Now, you're probably thinking this is an office computer, it wasn't meant for video games, but these games are from '98 and this computer is from 2002, so I'd expect to at least get a decent performance on such old games, even with the graphics on full, right? Anyway, before I go, I might test some more modern games in the future and perhaps upgrade it, but this is a giant question mark. Anyway, if you are watching on YouTube, on your screen there will be a video available for you to see, in which I present the GX260. For BitChute and Odyssey, if you're watching on BitChute and Odyssey, there is a link in the description below. If enjoyed your time here, of course, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. This has been Retro Amateur. Thanks for watching.